Odd. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the result of the test we had performed earlier. I do love this says test, because even I says, what test? Yes, test. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Aye, that! Yeah, I totally forgot about it as well. That weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought the victim. So what was the result? Was it the victim's blood or... Due to time circumstance, the full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on the dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. It wasn't Mrs. blood on the dagger. Then who was it? Yeah, I don't know anyone that bleeds, because Maya don't bleed right now. I don't know. Someone here is having a stab wound somewhere. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know about this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quick. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 3-hour stream, but if this doesn't end, I will continue, because this doesn't even hold up a full stream. Very well, please bring in the last witness. Hi Maya, how are you? Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is... I'm the assistant manager at Right Co. Law Office. I don't think she's ever said something like that. She has said that she's a spirit medium. According to the magazine I have here, you are a spirit medium of current channeling technique. My hair is poking out. Actually. No, you can't really hear that. I'm frightened. Fake clan, I don't have any more to do with it. Ooh. Oh yeah. Jesus. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Diaxim's murder. Is this correct? Objection! Straighten up this instant, young lady. Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. There's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witness come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Yes, actually, yes. The first, when we didn't know she was Maya. The second, in the current channeling technique, and now. Oh no, wait. Yeah, in trial, she has been witness only one time, and it's now. But in the other ones, she has been the suspect. Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. I was passing through the garden on the way to the square prep room when it happened. Suddenly someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed help. And something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. They were struck on the head. Yeah, because of the little globe that has blood on it. Oh yeah, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? Sorry, Nick. I just couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I'm really couldn't. Can say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. My chair is still wobbly. I think it's not locked as it should be. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Yeah, well, she's emotionally stressed. I'm just gonna press her. I'm gonna squeeze her! Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course, but I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth meet Bikini at her temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. Then, did Iris actually come later, like she said? Well, what do you think? No, I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh, let me think a second. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Press her harder! Come on, Maya, this isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was, yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it. It was dark. Hold on. A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. Okay, it was not lit. Come to think of it, there was early testimony that effect as well. It was dark in the garden on the night of the crime. A spirit that was channeled by Elise the Axe named Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think. You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. Only two things rolling around in my mind at the time. Well now, this is beginning to get interesting. So, what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. Yes. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. That's not at all. Your actions are understandable, given the circumstances. Okay. You think you screamed, but you're not sure. Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. A man, a woman, an adult, a child. I had no idea. I was scared of my wits. Sorry, I'm just gonna... Oh, God. Believe me, my dear, I would have soiled my robes. Yes. Thought this person might attack me, so Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. Thought that it was my last hope. Oh, it seems like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. Wait a minute, Maya. Was this your last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by last hope? No, no, no. That's not what you said. You said my last hope. What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me. Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Well, you know, that's like what you do when when you call it when that happens. Oh yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. Did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's what I was screaming to help for. I think she really remembered. I messed up. I mean to let that slip out. Witness, are absolutely sure of what you're saying. Behind the attacker, there was another person. I am. Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? Huh. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. What I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in court now of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. A man? A man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see. Well, you know, lantern line is very bright. A lantern line? Light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. You mean as a man? Uncertain. I don't think it is Iris, because they did say someone that was left on this side. Because they couldn't get across while the murder happened. And the only one we could not see until the bridge was fixed was Pearls. Hey, you know what they say, under the lantern's darkness reigns. I couldn't see the person who was further away, but not my attacker who was close. Plus, there weren't any other light source in the garden that time. There was no lantern light, I remember that. There was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise the actor, otherwise known as Mr. Faye, her mother. Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, a stone lantern was out of commission. What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. Other side as well. It's odd that it says man, but at the same time, is there a man that would want to kill someone there? Because technically Pearls is actually a medium as well. Order in court. Mr. Goddard, explain this. Add the pressure of milk to the perfect vessel. Clear darkness of coffee, sir. That's the state of the witness' mind right now. A cup of coffee all late. Is that even legal? Mr. Trice swore that the milk and you are... Words are the milk and you are the spoon. I'm a spoon! I'm not spoony, Bard, I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Trice. This witness' mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Oh, okay, you just remember the killer was. Nice. I don't really know. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there was truly no light in the garden, then there is a fatal contradiction in the witness' last bit of testimony. Ah, okay, right. I think you actually said that last time. May I? Recall the witness statement about her attacker. She said she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she was clearly described as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person. Despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. Wait, is it Godot? Because he was nowhere to be found while the bridge was out of commission. For some odd reason. Order! What in the world does this mean? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Right. Do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There was. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. Now you're trying to cover for him. Cover! For the man that killed her mother! There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. Yeah, no problem. It's so close. It's like there's no problem there. You know who this man is. No problem. Huh. Talk a good game try. But let's see if you can walk. It was pitch black. So what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But can't let him get away with it. A lawyer, office of the court. I'm here to find the truth. I'm gonna save. I think it is Godot, because that's the only man I know. It was him! Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see it for itself how this is possible, yes? So I guess, well, you were a bit late to spoil that, but yeah, apparently Godot. I just remembered, like, when she said man, I tried to figure out someone that she could, someone that someone could channel. But the thing is that he was nowhere to be seen at the day it happened. So it's just, he was somewhere. What? But how do you purpose to show us something like that? It's easy. You just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions! Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom will be turned off. But it can't be. Huh. Yeah. Yep, it was Godot. That was a nice bit of deduction, right? I don't love it just blinking like, oh. Well, everyone. Yep. It's only done a few seconds from those. This is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order! Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Huh. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you're going to got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, what about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya? I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. You shitting me? Witness! Stop your shattering, Your Honor. Okay. It's worth asking. Ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Hmm. When I came to, I was just lying there in the training floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. All of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. If the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. Welcome, by the way, humble viewer, to the stream I'm holding here. Well, does she even think about that? So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to the think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. Sorry, Your Honor, Nah, that's not it. That's not it. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. I don't understand. Trying to figure out. I still think it is Godot. In a way. I don't know why. It's just, how does she have her phone number? Who knows? So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, that is that right? I said that in the other streams. When I finish with this, I will go to the Zero Escape series and continue with the second game. I say second game because I technically already finished the first. I have some episode on YouTube. I'm gonna try someday to figure out, to just find all of them and do the rest out, if I can find them. I don't know if they're lost to time and space, unfortunately. I'm gonna see if I can find them. But I'm gonna continue with the second game. I'm gonna start the second Zero Escape game, which is called Virtue's Last Reward. It's sort of like this game. It's not like a trial and stuff like that. It's a sort of room escape game, but it's like a novel. So it's close to this game in a way. The person that carried you into the inner temple. That's what I think too. Okay. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. I'm gonna stop doing voices for a moment because my throat is a bit itchy right now. I think it might be like pollen right now because my left side of the nose and left side of the throat is a bit nah. I don't know. Looks like she doesn't even have enough confidence. So something asked more about the time I got back. The torches were lit. Yes, that's how I noticed the whole scene had changed. I want to say what who lit the torches. I mean, who else would it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there is one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? True, it's hard to see how that would be any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let's hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. By the way, did someone call... Oh, yeah, Afif Gaming. Like GH Aiming, Afif. has actually an eye between there. Sorry, but the text is so small on my screen. And I can only technically see AFF, but I can see a small eye in between there. Yes, a fifth actually got around here for a moment. He has been here, or someone has been here that is called a fifth. I don't know if it's a he or a she. Moving the body by punning. But for what purpose? It's getting late for me as well, so I'm gonna check here. What am I missing? Hold on here. So the fourth statement is, I think I screamed, yeah, that, and then it comes here. Okay, so apparently it is this thing. Oh, okay, that's your brother. Okay, nice. Nice to have him here. There were a lot of shovels around in the temple. They're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Who on earth would anyone want to take snow away? There's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area collapsed and ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. However, there's something that bothers me. The killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it. There was no need to remove that amount. True. The killer just scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. That's odd. I'm sorry, I'm just checking if something else new sometimes come by, because sometimes I might just miss that. Oh! Right. He did it in a square because I believe still it is Godot. He cannot see red. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. This second statement. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yeah, I think so. I'm just gonna put up my stream here again. But why would a killer tamper with a crime scene like that? It must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake. Hiding it for you. Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. Since Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, you may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. You're saying that why the killer cleaned up the crime scene was to make it look like nothing had happened. Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want to add that to your testimony. They did it for your sake. Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true. Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If the real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Most of Kurain killed by her own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motive. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? The torches were lit. Okay. Because this is the end, I am starting to more or less lose track. Ah, the lantern, right. I didn't read everything. I more or less just look at the black text to figure out what's going on. So yeah, because this cleaned up everything, but not the Maya one. Why? Because he cannot see the blood. That's why it's so big of amount. Then at garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow we suspected was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It is reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the truth through crime scene. However, there is still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing of the lantern? Yeah, I think I can finish this off in about a good amount of time. So Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? I don't think he can, because I remember something from when he held an apron. And we just said, isn't that blood on the apron? And he just said, what blood? Then just that Miss Birdie said that it isn't blood, it's ketchup. We just thought like, oh, he knew it was ketchup, so it's no idea. But when we presented this stone lantern in an earlier stage, he knew about the lantern, but he didn't see the blood. He didn't understand there was any blood there. So no, I don't think he can see blood. I don't think he can see red because of that red stripes. And not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the blood writing. But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but the fact that the killer left writing on the lantern. So I think it's just he cannot see anything red. And most of the times now it has been blood. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why would the killer leave the message written in blood? The killer didn't notice it. Prosecutor Goddard, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that the crime had occurred there. Yeah, he's probably blind of the color red. I say blood just because that's all of the things we more or less have not spotted. But also ketchup he could not see. So he's blind of the color red. It's like, you know, when you have these old 3D glasses like blue and red. If you only look through the red and look at something red, it more or less becomes like a white shade, more or less. And that's what it becomes for him. It's like he cannot see the red. He cannot understand that it's red. He wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lanterns on purpose. Therefore, it must have meant that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torch was all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is one way, and there's no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There is only one person involved in this incident who would have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? The same person. So I think that it's not just that he's a bad sight, because he did tell us that before. It's literally that it just red in front of him, so he cannot see that. Yeah, it must be. He hasn't really understood that, apparently. But technically, it just appeared for us this first time, more or less, in this game, so he probably hasn't done anything with a murder before. This is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything. The Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there is something written on it. Why? It is written in blood. This lantern is clean as a whistle. Yeah, you cannot see the color red. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Presbyterian, this is the one I was talking about. This is the apron delightful Miss Birdie was wearing at the crime scene. Like the time of crime. And somehow spilled coffee on. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain on the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Like, after they explained this, I just thought that, he knew it was just ketchup. But no, he cannot see the color red, on, especially on white. As I said, it becomes a white nuance on it, more or less. You can't see it in every situation. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup, because it was red. Huh. Strange. In black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why I'm the only one who can't see them? So then, Mr. Goddard, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see red writing on the lantern? That's why he missed the little red thing as well. He couldn't see that. Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? It's the reason why I don't drink red tea. I always starts with tea instead. I'm not sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Goddard is the murderer. But there's nothing... There's no going back now. Finally figure out the truth. No, I don't think you can see those either, really. You can technically see them, because there's not fully a white background. But for him, it's just white. But for example, he couldn't see this on the crime scene, because it was red. And that's why it was left there. You're the murderer of Miss Elise the Axnim, also known as Mr. Fay. It's hard to believe this may be true, however. Once again, Miss Wright has brought up a disappointing fact about you. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in the red ink, Ram. Come on. Does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written here. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, try it. The answer is right here at the crime scene. In the snow. Snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all of that? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If you wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just the area? Yes, why didn't they just take that area? Ah, could it be? Yes, the killer can see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. I guess you also can see how much use you have. Uncertain. As I said, if you mean this one, or actually if it is on, like, for example, a black background, he can see it. If that would be white, then no, he could not see it. As I said, it's like becomes more whiter than anything else. So if it is on white, no, he cannot see it. But if it is on a dark background, he can still see it more or less. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Wait, Wait just a minute. What is this, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? After the murder happened, he didn't even exist. Alright. He did just say that like 2 days after. He was just in a state of summoned. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because he was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. That's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. You plan to cover to Godot no matter what the cost. So you mean white and other colors something, but white and white? Yeah, exactly. But like you said, it's what I understand it becomes more white. I don't know if I have. I think I saw some 3D glasses somewhere. I just don't remember where I saw them, or if I had someone somewhere. But I think that is the case. That if he looks through something red, the red becomes white, and he cannot see it there. But for example, if you look through the red on, for example, a black surface, it's still just black, but the red part of it will be just become white. Your Honor, let's hear your testimony. If this means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. I don't feel like I can F up this place right now. Okay. Very well, let's hear the witness testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yeah, there's still minutes left, but as I said, it's not so much left of these games. I'm just gonna go straight through it. The little Pearly was there at the inner temple too. Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. Oh, that's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. I was always a more honest person than I would ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're on the oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Let's just move on to the cross-examination. The defense has no objection. This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, just go on. Just as his cross-examination started. He cheered her up. That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Miss Godot. I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Cut it out, you're making me blush. These guys are really beginning to get my nerves. Truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style. The same way, I like hand-down verdict in my own way, Judge style. Judge Dredd, more or less. That's strange. I know, I cheat a lot here now, just because I want to more or less finish it, and also be able to finish the game. Yeah. It didn't investigate first. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? Looks like my investigation went all about as well as yours, right? After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. So from here you headed to the prep room. Hmm. Okay. Ah, okay, here. Because that thing happened very quickly, the gravy thing. Isn't Phoenix style just pointing at other people? Yeah, I would guess that it is. That's it, more or less. In a way, technically, it's also Edgeworth style, because it technically points like this, more or less. Just point out his finger and sometimes. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge, went into the inner temple, was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made a one fatal slip up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. The hanging scroll? But Mr. Goddard is right. That scroll just shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is. But there's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge has been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderful, delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it in gravy. Gravy? But why gravy? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. That's a weird odd way to say it. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Eh. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. Oh, that. It's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So, if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was the picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Goddess described what was underneath like this, clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Yes, it's possible that he knew that what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Goddard, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. What was his motive for that anyway? Huh. Can I ask you one little thing, right? What is it? This old theory of yours, it all rests on certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene. Of course Mr. Godon knew about the plan. What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? I think it is the note, but I'm gonna just say here for safety reason. Yeah, burnt letter, I was right. I was right, the burnt letter. That's the only place, technically. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye authorized the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime would have taken place at the inner temple. And he still insists Kraft the killer is me. You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Goddard couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. he really wanted to know, he had a one great chance to find out. And when was that? During a visit. Visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. Probably the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Yes, it could be arranged if you're someone with easy access in and out of there. Like for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet at the same time we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. It means that there is a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then ultimately took a person's life. And he did all this just to protect this witness. Oh, my nose has not been glad today. Oh. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. And what you see, I'm certainly not the type to rescue damsel in distress. Killer's behavior is certainly extreme for lacking of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness' life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had good reasons, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I'm gonna save for safety reasons here. Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover up for Godot. For the same reason, huh? Okay, right. I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is not more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. I think it's her. I don't want to be wrong right now and go through everything else. Yep, it was that. Yeah, he knew Mia, and that is why he did this. That's why he protected Maya. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Yeah, I'm looking at a guide. Just because it is getting a bit late here, and yeah, it's about to the end. So, yep, the last here. Mostly because my head sometimes is not with me. Plus, technically, I do not really fully check wrongs. I just check if I am wrong or not. Because I more or less give the conclusion, for example, who it can be. And for safety reasons, check so I'm not wrong. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney. With your honor-piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. So yes, for more or less the sake of the last part here, I am using a guide. But only if I cannot figure it out myself just by thinking. There are some things that I can figure out by myself, but I might be just uncertain. So I just say, guide. Last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell. Should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. Yep. Like, right now, I do it for safety reasons because the streams should technically end by now, but because it is the end of the stream, I have it as a sort of safe thing. Otherwise, I mostly used it on days where my head is absolutely not with me and I have lost so many times that I cannot think about it. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. So don't think that I've used it all too often. It's just when, like, I'm streaming late, so sometimes my head is not with me. I'm trying to figure out, and it's like, what is going on? For example, before, I needed to first press Maya, so she said something about some things, but then I'm gonna go back to the statement, and even then, I read so many things wrong that I was failing all the single time. So yeah, my head was not really with me at that moment. Can't cry yet. Oh, right. Jeez. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she puts all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thought investigating that fake kidnapping incident, and one fateful day Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It's been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Just remember, 6 years ago, right here in this courtroom, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspaper at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually call it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body was shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. The woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, lost all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years has passed since I drank that poison brew. Is it why he has this addict of just drinking coffee all the time, or has he always been having that? And one morning my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years. And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I'd already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman had spiked my scaling hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Huh. Good old Mia, she didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. The first was youth rights. If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would never have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die, and it was all your fault. No, it is the one that is sort of... hold on. I'm gonna continue to click. It is not the one with Rex. I have both of them because I love both of them, even though I've not finished any single of them. First of all, I thought it was hard to play it on the Switch for some reason. I played it on the DS, the first Xenoblade when it came out, but my 3DS right now is complete dead. And not fully dead, it's just the battery can only hold a charge amount of 10 minutes. Probably even less than that. But what I'm talking about is this game, which is the one that is more or less like a sort of open world. It's sort of it's not fully an MMORPG, but I know there were many different sort of, how to say it, multiplayer ways of playing. So it's not the one with Rex. I've not finished that yet. I like that one, I just hasn't gotten around to do it. I don't really remember why. Sometimes when I stop playing few games, it might just be because of the story. It's not that it has bad story, it might just be that it has such a good story, and after a while I just feel like, oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed, I'm gonna take a break from this. So I've not played it for a time now, I can't fully remember why. It might have been because of work or something, and then I started playing other things. I still have it there. I might stream that as well. I started doing that when it came out, just as a sort of Christmas stream, but that was only a one-time thing. So yeah, and I also might play Xenoblade 1 when it comes out again, but after I've done this one. So for the time being, I might actually just do a sort of 3 Xenoblade games, because I'm gonna get it to Switch because it looks fabulous. I have seen it, I remember how it looked on the 3DS and the Switch, and this one looks so much nicer. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near, until both of my accomplices, Iris and Misty Faye. Oh, that's why she was there. That's odd. Officially, yes. Okay, so the prosecutors knew about this. About the strong ties between the family and the government. Even without their official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. Police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I knew I was able to contact her. Ah, okay, nice. Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. The plan was to be carried out, arrived soon enough. Made for the first time at the Secret Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Faye if necessary. That night, the night of the crime, was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Okay, so that's why it does this. Luckily, they just treated Pearls as a bystander more than an accomplice. Channel the spirit first, the Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. Alright. As Master of Current Misty Faye's power was weak, that's how it went down. Sorry, I don't know how long I've been quiet here, I just started to read. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl's Faye wouldn't be able to. My role in this plan was to make sure that no one was going to hurt my face. That's why I hid myself in the temple. Just in case you need to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Right. There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney, but you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fey. And I'm sad to say you got Mr. Godot. He doesn't look sad about it. But I would say that it is Godot. I'm not gonna check this thing. 2028. So about 8:30. 8:30. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. After all, he's the man who puts his life. So it doesn't solve him of this crime. Could you call that sort of defense, technically? Okay. So now she's gonna do one thing here. One more thing before this ends. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. Thought I asked for help, but just when I saw splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. In that moment there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but they disappeared all of a sudden. Things break, right? Even the best of theories. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know. The rest is up to me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of your witness. I'm gonna use this here. Because it's just the last thing here. And you just need to know. I think it said something about the 5th statement. 4, 3, 4, 5. I didn't fully check. As I said, I more or less checked the big take. Okay, I'm gonna put that away. I'm gonna try for myself just for a moment here. For safety reasons, I'm gonna save. Photoshop streams. Uncertain. I just did that for fun. For some time. I just don't remember. What did I do for Photoshop stream, by the way? I can't even remember. What did I do? Sorry, I need to just check my own thing here. Go to channel. I'm taking a channel. Where can I see my videos? Wait, hold on here. Video producer. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. Photoshop stream. Do I still have that? I don't even see a Photoshop stream. I'm uncertain because when I do Photoshop, I mostly just use it for work right now. For example, my game and stuff. I might just sit down and do something. I'm uncertain. I have to check more or less. It might be fun to do. I might think I know how to do what to do if I would. But I don't really know yet when to have it. Because right now I have this little schedule of mine. So perhaps. We just have to see. Remember the testimony she just made before the killer laid out a stream. In other words, the blade in the staff has already been plunged to the victim. You couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in the body. I tried that, but the problem is that I do it so slowly, so it would just mostly be me sitting there trying to think of something, because I remember I started a small stream with that not long ago. The problem I had was that I didn't know what to do. I know what I wanted, but I couldn't find out how, so I ended up more or less not streaming that time. So that's also a rather uncertainty. I tried that, but it more or less went stop. It like nothing happened. At least if I would use Photoshop, I would at least sketch and something would happen more or less all the time. But here, it more or less would just be me sitting there thinking, what am I gonna do now? So one thing I can think of, it could be used as the weapon here. The dagger. Naturally, the dagger killer brought to the scene of the crime. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Sally Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. Yeah, exactly. So last time I think it was some programming. I technically still need a lot of programming, but it was a lot of programming needed there, and I just sat there and like, I cannot just sit here and stream an empty screen more or less. So I just thought like, nah, I'm not gonna stream that. So if I can more or less plan on how to do and stuff, then sure, I might try and do that, especially after I'm gonna do all the graphics, you say so. But we just have to see. We just have to see if that is something I'm gonna do. Even won't be able to change the result of a scientific test. Oh. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? Just think of it for a second. This dagger was found in the morning by a detective and brought it to me. There's already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the court. Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, right? That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. Huh. Odd. There's not so much more of this game. I really want to finish it quickly and swiftly. That's more. I'm gonna have this here. All right then, witness. Continue to. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. This dagger, you said it wounded the killer. That's right, but if Minigold had already been cut with the dagger, his clothes would be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Yeah, true. And once the bridge was fixed, the police headed for the inner temple. Mr. Gold was already there waiting for them. Huh. Odd. Well, maybe brought like change clothes with him. Who would anyone have brought a change clothes? Okay, sorry. Even I am getting a bit tired here. Zero Escape is a sort of escape room game, a sort of novel escape room type game. That is, if you have never played it before, very complicated when you get into it. Not like the escaping thing, but the whole goddamn story is just... It's awesome from my point of perspective, but if you don't understand anything in the beginning, goodness sake me! You know how it could get up late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'll be frozen solid. That's all you got. You weren't tough enough to finish this. Okay. Oh, okay. Do that if you want. It's a bit of a dark game. It's not like a lot of blood, a lot of a lot of like gore and stuff, but it's a very dark. It can be a very dark game. It's like a more person-friendly Saw-like game, if you say so. So yeah, Saw is literally you will get killed and stuff like that, but people start to not trust each other. And that's more or less what the game is about. So it's like they will try to be at each other's throats. And there will be a lot of talking there. Question of whether we can prove or not. The fact is I have to prove it. Can't prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. It's a good fighter, a bitter end, right? But there's just one piece of evidence that can prove it, your point. I wanted to pay the unlimited penalty. And yeah, I don't want to do this over again, so it's literally just... Yeah. Okay, the killer was wounded. And that proven by the blood on the dagger. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. Yeah. I'm gonna check something because I also want that extra thing if there are an extra thing here. There we go. Yeah, I know, it has been even over 30 minutes extra. I'm trying to finish this as fast as I can. It's the end of the line, the final stop trial. Let's hear what you got. Ah, I don't know what you're talking about. Frankly, I don't need to know. What I know is that you'll never be half of the lawyer she was. Is that right? What's just that? Sorry, but I just like, ooh, got the goosebumps just because I saw both of them. Can't be. Living on through him. Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Okay. Oh, okay, this is the part you saw on the YouTube. I don't know why I saw on the YouTube. During the fight, the red light given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Because later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Goddard, could you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, and I say this whole case is solved. It became very quiet. Goodness sake, how quiet it became. Just now, I saw a spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me asleep by hiding her poison bottle. And then, while sleeping, you let my Mia die. I didn't care. Just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I never forgive you. That's what I thought. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. Truth is, there's only one person I could never find in my heart to forgive. Yourself? Yeah, of course. Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect me, yeah? Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face me as death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask and I threw away my name. Oh, okay, nice, I don't know that. I could never deal with being the defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was the plan. Up until just now, anyway. Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's no person I could have gone and talked to right now. Would that be? Talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I literally look like a zombie. Yeah, right now it is like starting to get to 9 o'clock. And though I am a streamer, I am not fully a hardcore gamer. I go to bed around 10, 9 to 10, and then it's like, yeah, sure, I sleep around 11, 12, sure. If I'm capable of sleeping. I more or less went to sleep around 1 last night. No, not this night, the night before that. So yeah, I might look like a zombie right now because, wow. I'm just hardcoring through this right now. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even only sure. That night in the darkness in the garden, when I saw her silhouette, part of me must have known the truth. That Dahlia Hawthorne standing in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye or even a little girl, but still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. I was really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye. Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? It had been simply the desire for revenge. Vengeance! And now, I don't even know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off as a true defender of people. In that one moment, I understood everything. This was a long one. I cannot answer. If you're talking about fixing my stream schedule, I cannot do that. Fixing yours, I can't answer that either. Because I'm uncertain how stuff works in other countries. Because I got these, like, anime examples when I played the last Code Vein from... who was his name? Hold on. His name was... Louis Aaron Welch. And I just watched one of those, and like one of the person there. I don't know. I just do that. It's how I work. I sleep early because for me it's a normal bedtime. I don't know really how I can say how to fix it. It's just like, the clock is around 10. Eh. Then at the same time, it's like I'm going to work tomorrow around 11. Yes, 11. So it's like I need to go up around 9. Yeah, technically, my normal time to go up is very late. It's around 10. It's not even I have a good schedule of sleeping. It's more or less waking up that's the problem for me. But yeah, so I don't really know actually how people. Oop. He's crying blood. Yeah, because I just watched one of those animes, and it's like study to 12, go to sleep, and they said early, and it was around 11, 12. And then go up 6 something, go to school to 9. I think when I went to school, it was like at least 7 or something. It was very early. So for me, like, I cannot really say how to fix. It's just say my body works that way, that I go to sleep around 9. Because somehow I get a sort of, I don't know, it just feels like a bit tiddly. It feels like just like, it's late, I can't really do anything there. So I just do that, technically. So yeah, I know I became a zombie. It's like what I read doesn't go through my brain. For example, now I have more or less just put away this and wanted to wait for a moment so people can read that. Huh. What about that? So it's technically just something I am used to go sleep early. I've always done that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. Okay, and what is it with her? Two of you hardly knew it. You hardly knew each other. You and my sister, you only met twice. The first time you met was that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of the very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. Yeah, probably. Like, even I have problem with that, because I go to bed, but I often watch YouTube and stuff until 11. So in a way, I go to bed early, but I sleep late. But for example, right now, my brain is more or less shutting down, so it's not like I'm doing stuff like this. But that is a way to do it, yes. Wait, so the time he actually dated someone was actually with her. That's right. I lied to you. For 8 months. Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of police investigation and their surveillance, you wouldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. She thought that you might somehow discover the truth, that's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. She already had so much to answer for, I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. Yeah, it's more or less the same thing here, except for like 11. When it goes around 11 to 10 from 11, it's like, nah, I'm gonna sleep. For example, it was that day, not long ago, just a few days ago, when I could not sleep. Like, when it became like 10 in the evening, I just went to sleep. It was like, nah, no more YouTube. I'm just so tired. I more or less think like this. I'll continue just on the morning. That's more or less how I work. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. So that's why she's sorry, like she knew us, because she technically was the one we dated. Up until that day, you two were partners in crime and she would confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Knows what? My feelings for you. If I found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you did change. You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne found guilty, I still believed in you. Okay, that's nice. How many cups of the darkest I have drinking over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix, right? I have a coffee cup, of course! The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, at least the accident. I feel like I hear some cracking somewhere. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty! Court is now adjourned. So now it's just the last part. It took 1 hour extra. Goodness sake me. I thought it wouldn't go that far. Holy shit. The way everything ended was just really served. The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Well, you doesn't seem buggered about that. I'm proud of you, Phoenix. The defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Armando. A man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. I mean, with that verdict. I think one day you'll understand too. I want you to remember one thing. You're as good out there today as a defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Yeah? I'm sure we'll meet again, someday, Phoenix. But not now. I've had a lot of cases and seen a lot of things. Along this journey, I've found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to be a defense someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick? Maya? I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia, what did she say? That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. Oh, oh, oh. But come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see me, sis? I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper all that happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Hi? Francisca, why? Still as softly as always, Phoenix. Excellent, going right. Is Edgeworth? When do you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled their in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca has actually been helping me. Helping you? Even these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial. The defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in the bed shivering from his fever with Iris' hood pulled over his head. Ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. Don't tell Pearls that. He will slap the head off me. I don't suppose... there's room for me in this group hug in here. Oh, Larry. What's with the longer face than usual? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not once. That's not true, right, Nick? You're asking me. Well, Nick, is it true? I'm gonna show some evidence for this. The portrait you painted, they were really good. Is that right, Edward? What? Me? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say they lack resemblance. Sort of. Sort of, actually. There is actually one in the latest 3DS game, which is called Spirit of Justice, where it is literally defense against defense. I remember that part. I don't remember fully that part, I just remember that exists. That was a weird one. Going to model for me. Don't get carried away. I always get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearls was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Now that you mention, I haven't seen her around. Pearl? Where is Pearls? Oh! I'll go look for her. Be right back! Where is Pearls? Again! She's gone! This seems to be uncharacteristic puzzle. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite what has happened. Yep. To be honest, I can't understand it either. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is much more wiser person than she appears. And I think she realized something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be strong as she can. Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. But there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying the best to not cry. That's what I think I'm trying to understand. I knew this would come! I knew this part would be here. What am I gonna... Ah, Pearl face. Okay, I thought I would do Armando's, but it's Pearls. Pearl face? Yep. Poor kid, after all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of Faye clan. Sure, she believed it was in very last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya, that's why she was so happy. It shows truly how devoted she is to Maya. Yeah, she did. I know that you can play an extra one on the Dual Destinies, and you actually meet Pearls when she... Wait, how old is she here? Hold on. So that game is 9 years after this, because I remember she's 18. I don't know why that is stuck in my head, but I remember that part. Don't ask me why. It would just seem to have a mind of its own. What's up, the gum shoot? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats to your win. My cell just sorta kinda gone down by 20 wind a bit, but it's alright. Pretty good work, Scruffy. Whip us a reward, yes. You said a first-class French restaurant, you don't mean... Tres bien. Oh god. We're doomed. Oh, forget about me. Pearls and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. What is going on here? Oh, I was wrong. What do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This never happened before. As I figured, He has been badly hurt by this incident. He is responsible for the tragedy that has befallen upon you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. Get your gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Would you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls. Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. I'm just gonna more or less hop over this now. Now it's just a bit of a talk here. Am I gonna... Where is that actually? Here! For a temple. Pearls, I bet, is a very important place. Hi! He's in the training hall. Huh. Ah, the hanging scroll. Now we know. Hey, Pearls! This is a long-ass ending. The last I could do. Oh, okay. So she just came here to fix the stuff she's done. Oh. Well, yep, it's the end of the whole trilogy. I hope they actually make remakes of the other games, especially the latest one for the 3DS, because I just want to be able to stream those. I love those games. And I think I remember that it's very hard now to actually... I'm just reading. Sorry. But the thing about recording from a 3DS, I think I watched the Game Grumps and they said that the thing that is used to do that is no longer really supported because it's technically some sort of fraud thing, if we can say so. It was called some sort of fraud, so... This is exciting. Sorry, I went Swedish there. This is actually what happened before. Maya looks adorable as ever, and so does Mia. Yeah, that is cute, especially that it happened once before. Mia, Maya, Pearls, and Miss Hermana. So they have actually also destroyed that urn. Well, shall we get going? We're gonna go to Trespien. Well, this is only gonna be a bit talk. I'm just gonna skip this. It's mostly just talking here.